The night the Sky Guardian touched Sarav, how an AI drone changed the rules of nuclear warfare forever. A breach in the Iron Dome. At exactly 3:12 a.m. local time, the skies above western Russia were still and silent. But 45,000 feet above the Earth, beyond radar coverage and human perception, something moved a ghost. An MQ-9B Sky Guardian, an unmanned aerial vehicle unlike any other, silently penetrated Russian airspace. Not just any airspace, but the most fortified nuclear zone in the entire Federation. Its destination, Sarav. To most of the world, Sarav does not exist. It does not appear on tourist maps, GPS systems, or satellite navigation platforms. Russian civilians require special federal permits just to come within 50 kilometers of it. But in the world of nuclear strategy, Sarav is sacred ground. This city, codenamed Artemis 16 during the Cold War, is the birthplace of Russia's most powerful nuclear bomb, the Tsar Bomba. It is home to NIF, the Russian Federal Nuclear Center, and houses over 4,000 nuclear warheads, strategic, tactical, and experimental. And now, it had just been touched. Intel that triggered the strike. This wasn't an act of aggression, it was a preemptive move in an invisible war. According to leaked NATO intelligence, U.S. spy satellites detected a sharp uptick in warhead transfers from Sarav to frontline bases near Belarus. Mobile launchers, including Iskander-M units known to carry low-yield tactical nuclear warheads, had been repositioned. Worse, multiple hot signatures indicated the miniaturization and active integration of warheads into missile chassis. The speed of this development triggered alarm bells in every major military think tank in Washington, Brussels, and London. The Pentagon's assessment was grim. Russia was preparing for tactical nuclear readiness, short-range, battlefield deployable warheads, likely as a strategic countermove to recent NATO deployments in the Baltics and Poland. Conventional wisdom said wait. Diplomacy. Back-channel warnings. But the clock was ticking, and with every hour, a tactical nuke might be loaded, dispersed, and lost to the winds of war. Then came the mission greenlight. Operation Ghostveil. Codenamed Ghostveil, the mission was designed to test the capabilities of the upgraded MQ-9B Sky Guardian under conditions previously thought impossible. Objective: neutralize a single thermal enrichment base suspected of housing microplutonium warhead casings. Rules of engagement: zero collateral, no urban targets, no reactor structures, absolute deniability. The challenge: Sarav is not just a nuclear site, it's a Zato, a closed administrative territorial formation. Think of it as Area 51 on steroids. The perimeter is shielded by S-350 and S-400 surface-to-air missile systems. Electronic warfare EW grids fry GPS, jam drone control, and blind sensors. Airborne pickets like the A-50U patrol the skies with early warning radar systems capable of detecting stealth aircraft. No foreign drone had ever survived longer than 180 seconds inside Sarav's defense bubble. That was about to change. The drone that shoots first. The MQ-9B Sky Guardian is not your average Reaper. Developed by General Atomics, it is the first UAV certified to operate in civilian airspace under NATO standards. But behind that regulatory sheen lies a lethal modular war machine, built for surgical strikes in contested zones. This variant was custom equipped with AN/APY-8 Lynx Block 30 synthetic aperture radar for ground penetration, foliage detection, and subterranean mapping. Next-gen anti-jam GPS with inertial and terrain-based backup navigation. AI-enhanced ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance suite that autonomously classifies and prioritizes targets based on heat signatures, radiation traces, and structural anomalies. Multi-domain data link systems for satellite and line-of-sight relays across jamming fields. Autonomous targeting AI, because human latency simply couldn't respond fast enough at 42,000 feet. Its payload? One AGM-179J AGMR Jagmara radar-guided, bunker-penetrating missile with programmable fuses, a 1-meter circular error probability CEP, and tungsten-shaped charge designed for deep concrete strikes. The strike. The drone mapped blind spots in Sarav's overlapping radar fields in real time, using triangulated signal bleed and AI-fed electromagnetic heat maps. It maneuvered using known radar dropouts and synthetic decoys. At 3 hours 14 minutes and 6 seconds, from a holding pattern 19 miles west of the city, the Jagmar launched. It descended in a 19 degrees controlled dive from 42,000 feet. The missile maintained terminal velocity at Mach 1.3, adjusting trajectory every 0.8 seconds via microcontrol fins. It was guided not by a human operator, but by the drone's onboard AI, which had identified a thermal signature consistent with a working plutonium compression cell. 127 meters above the target, the fuse engaged. With 10.8 megajoules of kinetic energy, the tungsten penetrator tunneled through reinforced concrete. Then came the detonation, a shaped charge explosion, angled downward to destroy subsurface infrastructure without lateral damage. Shock sensors picked up sympathetic secondary blasts non-nuclear, likely the high explosives used in modern warhead casings. The whole engagement lasted under 5 seconds. Aftermath. At 3 hours 14 minutes and 11 seconds, the drone exited Russian airspace. There was no alert from Moscow. No scramble. No sirens. But 17 minutes later, U.S. infrared satellites captured thermal anomalies near Saryv. A 3,200-foot underground vault had collapsed. Nearby telemetry sensors used to monitor nuclear storage went dark. Emergency lights activated along Saryv's internal rail line. Forensic analysis of the heat bloom suggested a blast yield of approximately 3.6 tons of high explosive localized, precise, intentional. This wasn't just a building. Intelligence indicates it was a mobile warhead assembly bay where miniaturized payloads were actively being integrated with delivery systems. Taking it offline delays field deployment by weeks, potentially months. And in nuclear calculus, time is everything. Silence and shadows. There was no claim of responsibility. The drone's signature was spoofed. It flew under a forged transponder code from a commercial European airline. Russia did not officially acknowledge the strike. But within 48 hours, NATO noticed key shifts. Increased chatter on Russian military bands. Emergency drills at least 2 other Zato cities. Rapid deployment of additional EW assets near Saryv and Belgorod. Privately, Kremlin sources confirmed what intelligence analysts feared: Russia had been caught flat-footed. The new frontier of war. What does it mean when a drone guided by AI, immune to jamming, and launched from thousands of kilometers away can strike the heart of a nuclear superpower with 0 human casualties? It means the rules have changed. Mutually assured destruction MAD was built on predictability, on the visibility of threat. But this? This was surgical ambiguity. Invisible escalation. A war not declared, yet unmistakably waged. Analysts now warn of the first strike temptation: the idea that a nation, fearing invisible drone raids on its deterrence, might launch preemptively. It's a logic trap. The more accurate our weapons become, the more fragile the peace. When peace becomes code. The Saryv strike will likely go down in history not as an open act of war, but as a technological Rubicon. From this point forward, every missile movement, every vault, every nuclear transport must assume that an eye in the sky sees it all and can act. It was a strike on a concept, not just a building. A warning not just to Russia, but to every nuclear state: your sanctuaries are vulnerable. AI no longer just watches war, it fights it. And for better or worse, the world will never be the same. Questions that haunt. Can nuclear deterrence survive in a world of invisible drone warfare? Should AI be trusted to make kill decisions on weapons of mass destruction? Is precision the antidote to escalation, or the spark? As the Pentagon scrambles to adapt, and Russian analysts dig through the digital wreckage, one thing is certain. The battlefield of tomorrow has no front line. No flags. Only targets. And ghosts that fly at 45,000 feet.